no stopping. The clock spins tick tock. Can they chop? Can hip hop and pop lock? Can beat drops in? Hey, you over there, I know you see me. Is it hot in here or is it chemistry? How's locked in? Baby, take a chance to light up. All in your trance,
Yo, what's good out there? Thank you everybody for tuning in to the Parental Advisory Podcast. Thank you so much to all the people who have been following, subscribing on YouTube. We do ask that if you have not, you will go to the Parental Advisory Podcast on YouTube, follow, share, and smash that subscribe button. Thank you to all the folks that have been showing love on the IG page. You can find us at the Parental Advisory Podcast on Instagram. Feel free to give us feedback on the episodes, give us topics that you would like to hear, because our goal is to definitely provide invaluable content that will help you in your parenting struggles and journeys and experiences on a day-to-day basis. So how's everybody doing? Tiff, TC,
Best day of my life.
Kiki?
Hey, I like that one. Phenomenal.
Sensational.
Oh my
What's your
goodness.
voice?
Oh man, no, you good up there, Marquita?
Why you keep saying
I'm
up there
listening.
like she way in
I know, I
Maine or
keep
something?
saying that.
Right.
How you doing up there?
Hey, how you doing up there?
The state up north,
Oh
man.
man, no, that's good. Everybody's doing good. We kind of want to change it up a little bit today, and we want to kind of touch on a hot topic that's been going around lately. We want to discuss what are the limits of responsibilities when dating someone with kids.
Or
Oh,
after
yeah.
the breakup.
Or after the
that's true,
breakup.
too.
Or
Yeah.
after the breakup. I mean, as you know, when you date somebody with kids, it's what? It's a package deal.
Yeah.
It's a package
And they
deal.
little dog.
Yeah. So, I mean, what are some of those like limits? Like, what do you say?
Can I jump on one?
I know
'Cause
you
this was-
looking like you
This was a
anxious
hot
for it.
topic that it was on the socials on TikTok and Instagram and things of that nature. And just for some quick background, this young man came to see his son, and he pulled up outside, and his baby's mother had a video camera shooting him, saying she was going to expose him, and he's like, I brought my son some McDonald's, which was the first flaw, really, because it should have been Chick-fil-A. But he brought him McDonald's, but he brought it for his kid and not the other
has
children. 'Cause she has four
she has
kids,
four
right?
children, yes.
So she said she's going to expose him and all this stuff because people think you're a great dad, but you're not really a great dad. And he was like, I'm the dad for my son. Those other kids aren't mine, right? So it's a hot topic. People are mad at him because he's not necessarily supporting the other kids and having them eat or not eat while his son eats. And then people are mad at her because she's like exposing this guy, but she just sounds silly because she went around it the wrong way, right? So I think, that's a tough subject for people. People have views on each side
Folks
of the
been
ray,
going
right?
back and forth on it.
Right.
Like, folks are getting
it's been crazy
heated in the
about it.
comment
I'd
section.
love to know you
Yeah.
guys. It's
I
okay.
think both people were in the wrong. I think she was really, really wrong about how she came about it and trying to put it online and put it on blast. And hell, I had to go to find her TikTok page because I just wanted to see what kind of person she was about. And I got the answer I thought I was going to get. But the thing is, too, it's a little unfair situation, right? Even though those kids aren't yours, if you're dating someone with children, you can't just bring over a meal for one kid and have the other three sitting there not eating because they're going to have resentment and they're going to have a feeling of separation because technically they're a family together. And I don't think that was the right scenario. He could have, if he didn't want to spend the money per se, he could have actually requested or had his kid come outside so he can eat in an environment not in front of his siblings, because then they're going to feel left out, even though their other fathers or whatever may not be up to task. They may not be bringing them food, but it's kind of causing some internal separation, right? And so that's kind of what you sign up for. He knew whenever this scenario happened and got down that she already had other kids and she already had multiple baby mothers, right? So I think both were wrong. The choice of putting it online was definitely wrong. And the way it went about it went viral for a reason because it was wrong on both sides. That's how I look at it.
Marquita? We save her.
You say we save her.
All right. So with that situation, okay, I'm about to side with the dad. I don't know all the details. I don't know if his child is the oldest or the youngest.
The youngest.
His child was the youngest.
Yes. He walked into the situation with her having 3 children, and they
So-
were together for quite some time. Then he had a baby with her.
Okay. I don't want to put it all on the mom, but here's my thing. That's not the first thing that he's ever done that was kind of shitty towards these kids. So you knew before you even had your your child with him, you knew the type of dude that he was. I just think, I don't think that that's something that just appears at a certain moment. So that's one. Second, is he obligated to bring food to the other kids? No. Should he? Yes. And I think that's like, you should.
Yeah.
You're not obligated to, but you should, because it's shitty to only feed your kid and not feed everybody else.
So
but
why was he obligated when they were together? Because he getting pussy?
Oh, she said the P word.
I'm just
Exactly.
asking. That's
Yeah.
awful.
Yeah. Well, no, I wouldn't say that.
And I don't even think he probably was.
Not just because he getting it in, but because y'all are a family unit at that point. If y'all are all together, you've accepted everybody as such.
But what makes his son not family with them?
His son is.
So then why aren't they eating together as a family?
He's not their family no more. He's gone.
Yeah, they're not in a relationship anymore.
Then he needs to take his son about that house when he want to feed his son.
Yeah.
He asked to, and she said no.
After the fact, yeah, because I'm pretty sure they were probably on the phone. And he was like, well, I'm finna go drop off some food. Well, did you get the other kids' food? No, that's not my obligation to. That's how that started. That's why she came outside with the phone already pumped and ready to. But if you walked into the situation knowing what I got, right? You accepted it, blowing my back out all this time. Now you didn't inseminated me, right? Now we got one. It's not your responsibility at that point, yes. But there should be a thought, maybe 2, I don't know, 17 of them. How dare I come into this house or allow my son to walk in with one meal while he sits down and eats? And that's not cool. Like, when I say on no levels,
okay,
and it don't even have to be his sibling. 2 cousins over there. If I'm picking up my son and taking him out, by all means, we having a good time, that's that. First of all, this meal is $5.60, sir. Come on.
Hey, listen, my man might be struggling.
And that's cool. Then struggle in your car with your son. Do not have him come in, and now there's a resentment that's caused. Because now it's like, oh, well, his daddy picks up his, and my daddy, you know what I'm saying? And she shouldn't have to get on the phone and be like, hey, you know, Marcus is getting such and such food. Do you mind, you know, dropping the kids off, blase, because the other 3 are by one other person.
Okay.
It's not her. She shouldn't have to do that. You walked into this situation. I was a package deal. You did not walk in. I was just one. Right? So yes, it's not your responsibility, but it's your responsibility to have some fucking sense and know that you should bring your son out and y'all have y'all time together. Cool, no problem. But you're not going to bring in some riffraff or a gray cloud in my home now where my son is now beefing it with my other son because now he got a toy in his Happy Meal and my other son don't got one.
But think about
That's
this.
a problem
But
for
think
me.
about this.
So
I get what
her
you're
approach
saying.
was shitty. I don't agree with her approach whatsoever. She was wrong tenfold. But the principle of it, I understand. I also agree with you, Kiki, when you said that he had shown a sign of this before. So I agree with that. But now it's said and done. Now I got 4. One of my 4 is yours. And again, we were together for quite some time before we did what we did, and now we have a 4th one. So you should have some sort of sense. And if you don't, that's where her reaction came from. So again, it's shitty, but I understand it.
I'd have just brought a couple of pizzas and take care of it.
You know what I'm saying?
Well, here's another
Like-
scenario though. But think about this. But think about this though. One, from a standpoint, if he takes his kid outside, isn't it also kind of separating him away from his brothers or siblings anyway? Because it's like, oh, your daddy here, preferential treatment. You go outside, you're having a good old meal in the car, but we inside hungry, right? You gonna come in full. You gonna come in with a toy. And honestly, what's up with the other baby daddies? Are they not bringing their sons or daughters meals as well? How about that same day?
Yeah, we
don't
don't
know
the
that detail.
Custody agreement within all of them, but I'm not against you picking up your kid and going out and having a meal or whatever it is that you can do for your kid. But you're not going to drop off a meal in my home where there's a dining room where we all sit and eat together, where now I have one kid sitting at the dining room table and my other 3 are doing what? Looking at him, hoping for a french fry? I'm not cool with that. Like, not even a little bit. So I don't disagree. And what if the other 3 were picked up and now the one little boy is by himself in the house? You get what I'm saying? That's just what happens when you have multiple baby daddies. That's what happens when you have, you know, that's just the cards that you are dealt. Yeah. But in playing cards, are you not strategizing? Are you not thinking about what you're putting out there? Or are you just holding this goddamn deck?
Yeah, I think he wasn't no strategy from the get-go, because if you already realize there's 3 other baby fathers that are there, my man's like mindset off rip, I don't know if he was doing any supporting before the baby came, his son came or not, but that's a lot to actually to actually undertake itself, right? So my thing is too, nobody actually ate that day because the young lady threw the food and smashed the freaking high seat on the ground, right? So my man spent his hard-earned $5.50, and nobody eats B. Like, so the thing was, I think the reaction was completely wrong as well, and it actually, I'm not even saying backfired, because I don't know what it's backfiring for from a society judgment standpoint, but it made you look like an idiot, too, at that point in time, and look
because she could have had a valid point, and her reaction was over the top. So that's what I'm saying. Her reaction was shitty, but I understand it. I get it completely. Another key point is that when you were in this relationship with me, you had no problems over here feeding everybody. I would assume. I would only assume.
Maybe. Yes,
Was that the first time?
Let's say that he had no issues with we're all going out to eat. We're all going out to eat as a family, right? But we don't know. Let's assume that that's the case. Those kids didn't make that decision for us to split up. We made that decision for us to split up. So at some point, these children were looking at you as a provider because we were a unit. And now you're creating this divide. Now, I'm not saying bringing them food every goddamn day, but take your son out again and spend quality time with him. And I can explain that to him. That's his father, baby. And he wants to spend time with his dad because we don't live together anymore. I don't have to sit down. Well, he's going to feed him. But for you to bring, let's say it's a toy. Let's say you're dropping off the baby a toy. I'm not cool with that. And I'm not, and again, it doesn't have to be a sibling. It could be two cousins sitting in that living room. I'm bringing everybody in the house something. That's just what it is. Because you're not going to create a divide. You're not going to create a resentment between what I got going on in my home because you just want to drop some shit off. What kind of parenting is that any goddamn? Why are you dropping this meal off? Where you finna go?
Maybe he didn't even have visitation. Maybe he was on lunch break and he wanted to bring his kids something.
Whatever the scenario is.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
whatever the scenario is, there's ways around this shit, and it was dealt with on both ends very shitty.
Yeah. And it's like Christmas. Like, sometimes you give better gifts to better people for Christmas, and he got to give 4 Christmas gifts of equal value and liking. Like, I don't know, man. It's just a tough scenario.
Everybody gets something, though. That's just what it is. Everybody gets something.
Yeah. I feel like maybe, hopefully, the next day he got a $5 hot and ready or something and drop that thing on off, and everybody eats B. But like, I don't know. I feel like the food selection was wrong. It just the drink selection was wrong too as well. But like, from a standpoint, I feel as if it was handled, as you said, completely irrational, like completely wrong. I would have to side a little bit. Both were wrong, but I'm gonna side a little bit with the dad because I don't know the backstory. He may have never actually provided any food for those other kids because they weren't his. They said, hey, they got their own dads. Their dads probably bring them kids. I don't know. I felt bad for him having to look at that orange high C run down the sidewalk, and he had to get back in his car and drive off, and his son's still hungry.
And hypothetically, if he was not providing when he was with that woman, he's wrong. Period. You are wrong on all levels, bro. You are wrong. I wish a motherfucker would. You hear me?
But you wouldn't date anybody like that. Right. I think that's the biggest thing here. That's why I said that and I feel like I'm victim blaming, but putting herself in this situation all together, like
people play an awesome role. People will play
their representatives. They bring that representative to the stage.
Yes. Oh my God. And it takes a minute for you to be able to peel back that mask. And sometimes you're already with child.
Oh.
Right.
That's all I'm saying.
And I get that. But I guess my thing is, we're feeling she failed to provide for her kids as well.
Oh, let's not talk about that.
She definitely said in the video that
she said,
all my stamps out. Yeah, all my stamps is gone.
To the 11th, you ain't budgeting that right.
Right.
Like, you need to be able to budget it a little bit better. You got 4 kids, your stamps should be banging.
Right, $10. That's like, 2 hot and readies.
You should be able to pull something together for your kids.
Yeah, that was true. I mean,
that's
yeah. I agree with a little bit of that too as well, because all the blame can't be on him as well. I mean, yes, that's a lot of mouths to feed every day. Yes. Especially, I don't know if her employment situation, I don't know what it is. I just looked at that footage. It was a bit of the daytime, and it looked like it was hot outside, and it was just, I don't know, somebody should have been at work or something. I don't know. I just felt like something was going wrong here.
Everything was wrong.
The whole scenario was wrong.
But the principle is, you do not bring a meal with your child to your child's home and their siblings, cousins, nieces.
I agree with the principle.
That's what I'm talking about.
I agree with the principle.
But
talking about
things
obligation,
in it, I get it.
Not obligated, but off of principle, you should.
Yeah,
I will agree with that.
Off of GP,
right?
Yeah, I, that's a tough one, man. Like I said, I kept my opinion to myself.
How should it have been handled? What's the proper way
what was
that
the
you
proper-
felt like that same scenario? If
He should have
was on lunch
supersized
break, what would you done differently?
I'm assuming that he called because there's no other way she would have known that, he was coming. That's why her phone was ready. So one of two things. Let me take my son out really quick for my lunch break, or bring a pizza, something that's going to feed everybody. And it doesn't even have to be a meal. Pizza is just a quick little bite for 4 kids. You know what I'm saying? But at least they're doing it together. It's a community, and you get what and there's no separation of my daddy, your daddy, that kind of thing that I now have to fix in my home, because you're creating this in my home, essentially. You know what I'm saying? So those are the two things that he could have done. But I mean, all the other playing factors, it could be so many different things as to why both of them did or why they reacted the way that they did. But principle is, you do not bring any child food and there's other children in the home. That's just what it is. And if you don't have it, cool. There's other ways of going about it. Take him out the house. Take him to the park. Take them somewhere that, you know what I'm saying? And that's just what that is. Yeah. And you feed your kid then and there and done and done. You don't got to deal with that lady throwing your high seat up in the air.
He was just draining all on the side.
I didn't see the video. I want to see it.
She slung it, man.
I only heard of it. And I think that was enough to feed the information.
Yeah, it was definitely awkward watching it.
It was cringeworthy.
I was like, and it got to be us.
Gotta be us. Loud.
I was like, why are we out here doing this right now? Yeah.
But again, Kiki made a very good point. This is not the first time he has done something relatively close to this, which is why she went outside fed up with her phone. And although it was shitty, the reaction, if she would have handled it differently, it would have, maybe more of us would have understood where she was coming from, as opposed to them. You got $700+ in food stamps, and you're out here at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Why haven't you clocked into work yet? You know what I'm saying?
She got personal, talking about, everybody think you such a great daddy. You not a good daddy. He's like, I am a good dad for my son.
Yeah.
You're like, them ain't my kids. That's, what he said. So what his mind said, he was actually kind of right. He felt like he was a great dad for his kid. But the other kids, honestly, where their daddy's at? That's what he said. So
that sounds like that's been an ongoing argument.
Yeah,
like it's not just with food.
Yeah,
not just with food, but like everything.
Exactly. I bet he probably gets kids, fake Jordans, whatever. Like, so I don't know, man.
Yeah, I think that's just one of those that's going to have to be battled out. Like, who knows who was right and who was wrong in that situation? I mean, it just, like I said, it was an equal amount of wrong divvied out.
We just know the food choices.
This was horrible,
questionable as well, and that was one thing I wanted to bring out. Yeah, I just felt so much.
He should have just got a pizza, and just made it simple for everybody.
It would have been cheaper to get a pizza,
right? It would have been much cheaper to just get
more
a pizza
tasty
and keep
too.
it pushing.
I don't like McDonald's.
Well, that's cool. That was a cool little hot topic. I know that's been kind of on people's radar as of late. So
everybody wrong.
Everybody wrong.
Everybody wrong. But the baby.
But the baby, the hungry kid, who's still hungry,
who didn't even get a chance to eat because
not wrong.
That's wild. That's wild. Well, cool. Good stuff. Well, hey, thanks so much for tuning in. As always, please continue to follow us on YouTube at the Parental Advisory Podcast. Be sure to subscribe. Be sure to like. Be sure to share and smash
that button. Not people that you can't feed the kid afterwards. Smash the button.
Bring McDonald's.
And be sure to follow us on Instagram at the Parental Advisory Podcast. We thank you so much for tuning in and look forward to talking to you next time. Y'all have a good one.
Holla.
All right.